Hello, students of class 7. Today we will do your chapter 3 pronouns from your superb English grammar book. Now, children, what are pronouns? Pronouns are words that can be used to replace nouns. Nouns meaning any name, place, animal, or thing. Now, the nouns or group of nouns a pronoun refers to is called its antecedent. Now, children, what do you understand by antecedent? Antecedent is something which comes before something in order or position. Now, a pronoun must agree to its antecedent in number and gender. Number meaning singular or plural, and gender meaning masculine or feminine. Now, it pronouns help in making sentences simpler and shorter. Try out 2. Underline the pronouns in the given sentences. Circle the antecedents the pronouns refers to. Shalini loves to walk on the beach. She watches the sunset often. Over here, children, first we have to identify the noun. So the noun is Shalini, and she watches the sunset of it. Who watches the sunset of it? It is Shalini who watches the sunset of it. So we need not have to repeat Shalini loves to walk on the beach. Shalini watches the sunset often. So instead of writing Shalini in the second sentence, we write the pronoun she for her. So what do you mean by antecedent? Circle the antecedents. Antecedent means that word which comes before the pronoun in the sentence. Which is the pronoun in the sentence over here? It is she. So what is the noun which comes before it? Shalini. So please circle Shalini as the antecedent and she has to be underlined as the pronoun. Number 2. Dravid enjoys playing basketball. He knows that it is his favorite sport. Now, children, as I said, we have to identify the nouns first. So, Dravid is a noun and Dravid is the proper noun and basket is another noun. Now, the pronoun for Dravid is he and the pronoun for basketball is it. So, Dravid is the antecedent for he and basketball is the antecedent for the pronoun it. It why? Because basketball is a thing. Dravid is a person, therefore he is a male, so it is he. Next, number 3. Michael shot the basketball. He saw it go through the net. Michael and basketball being the nouns, they are the antecedents. And what are the pronouns for Michael? It is he, and the pronoun for basketball is it. Number 4. The submarine went underwater. It descended many feet. Now, what is the noun here? The noun here is submarine, and the pronoun for it is it. Number 5. The cake was very tasty. It had a lot of frosting. So the noun here is the cake. And because it is a thing, we use the pronoun it for it. Now, children, classification of pronouns. Pronouns are classified into 7 kinds. They are personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, relative pronoun, reflexive or emphatic pronoun, interrogative pronouns, indefinite or distributive pronoun. Now, coming over to the first type of pronoun, which is your personal pronoun. Now, pronouns that stand in place of people or things are called personal pronouns. They are used to describe the speaker or the listener and the person or thing who or that is spoken on. Personal pronoun means we are talking about ourselves. Now, personal pronouns are of two kinds. They are either subject pronoun and object pronoun. Subject pronoun means pronouns that are used as a subject in the sentence. Object pronoun, pronouns that are used as the object in the sentence. Now, let us understand in detail what are subjective pronouns. Now, subjective pronouns are those which act as the subject in the sentence. They are used in place of nouns which are used as a subject. Now, children, as we know, every sentence has to have a subject. So, the subject pronoun is used in place of the noun. And subject pronouns are a substitute for common and proper nouns in a sentence. They are used when the pronoun is the subject of the sentence. They refer to a person or thing in speech or in writing. Now, some examples of subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Let's take an example. She is preparing for her final exams. Now, as we know, what do subjective pronouns do? They are used in place of nouns, which are used as a subject. So, who is the subject here? She. She is preparing for her final exams. She is the subject pronoun. Now let us go over to objective pronouns. A pronoun that replaces the object in a sentence to receive the action. Now, there has to be some action done that is done on the object in the sentence. So that is known as the objective pronoun. Now, it is a pronoun in the objective case of a verb or a preposition. It is the receiver of the action. It is in the predicate of the sentence. The objective pronoun is in the predicate of the sentence. What do you mean by the predicate of the sentence? That part of the sentence which contains a verb and states something about the subject is called the predicate of the sentence. As you know, children, every sentence is made up of a subject and a predicate. So, objective pronoun is found in the predicate of the sentence, that part of the sentence which has a verb. Verb is any doing word and it states something about the subject. The predicate always follows the subject. Let us take an example. He gave her some books. In this, children, who is the subject? He. What action has he done? He has given some books. To whom? To her. So her becomes the object over here. Number two, sample, they are buying it from him. Now, dear children, we can see that they is the subject and what are they doing? What is the action that they're doing? They are buying it. From whom? From him. So, him is the object. Now, children, there are certain subjective pronouns for which the objective pronouns are, supposing for subjective pronoun I, objective pronoun you. For you, objective pronoun you. The subjective pronoun he becomes him, she becomes her, it becomes it, we becomes us, you becomes you, and they becomes them. Now try out three. Pick up the pronouns in the given sentences and tell whether they're used as a subject or an object in that sentence. Number one, will you come with me? So I will you come with me? I am you are the subject, and I am asking you whether you will come with me. So, me becomes the object. Number two, the man standing next to you is a detective, I think. So, who is doing the thinking quotient part over here? I. So, I am the subject. And what am I telling you? I am, there is some, like I told you, children, the objective pronoun is found in the predicate part of the sentence. Where, what is the predicate part over here? The man standing next to you is a detective. And the predicate always contains the verb. Standing is a verb. So, you becomes the object. Number three, he came to me yesterday to understand the concept of pronouns. Who came? He. He is the subject. Now, what did he do? We have to identify the predicate of the sentence. Came to me yesterday to understand the concept of pronouns. Now, me is the object. Number four, I can't say whether he will go with us for mountaineering. Now, who is speaking? I am speaking. So, I am the subject. And whom am I telling? Whom am I talking about? I'm talking about he. So, he is the object. Number five, they are interesting riddles. Let's solve them. So, they is the subject and them becomes the object. Next, we will talk about possessive pronoun. Now, what do you mean by possessive? Possessive means owning or possessing. So, a part of speech that attributes ownership to someone or something is known as a possessive pronoun. It shows ownership or possession of one person or thing with another person or thing. For example, your picture is more beautiful than mine. So now what are we doing here, children? We are comparing two pictures. One is your picture and one is my picture. So for that, the pronouns which are used is your picture is more beautiful than mine. So here the possessive pronouns are your and mine. Next we come over to demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative comes from the word demonstrate. Demonstrate means to show or to indicate or to point. So they are used to indicate or point or demonstrate the things which they refer to. It represents things that can be near or far in distance. It is used to represent something so that you don't have to repeat the words. Examples are this, that, those, these, such. This and that, children, it refers to nouns that are nearby in time or space, and they refer to singular nouns. That and those refer to nouns that are farther away. They refer to plural nouns. You have to keep this in mind. Now try out four. Complete the sentences using the correct demonstrative pronouns. Number one, these are delicious cherries. Number two, you should have worn the dress I bought from London last year. It has got old. Now, what is the subject here? It is dress. It is a thing. So the pronoun for it will be it. Number three, listen carefully. This is what you need to do to understand the standpoint of others. Now, because you and I are talking, we are close to each other. I am telling you, listen carefully. That is why I will use the demonstrative pronoun. This is what you need to understand, not that. Number four. These are the pictures of my son when he went to Rameshwaram. Now, since I am showing you uh, very close by we are sitting, I am showing you some pictures. Pictures is plural. Therefore, we use these. These are the pictures of my son when he went to Rameshwaram. This is the most adorable picture. Now I take out one picture and I show you. So one picture is singular, so I use this. And because you're sitting close to me, that is why this is the most adorable picture. Number five. This is the dress I was talking about. Because we both are having a conversation nearby, therefore I am pointing to a dress which is near to me. So this is the dress I was talking about. Next, we come to relative pronouns. They are used to relate a noun to a group of words that follow. They are used to join relative clauses and sentences indicating the relation closest to the noun or pronoun used. Relative pronouns are whom, whoever, which, that. One thing to note, children, is that the noun that is replaced by the pronoun is referred to as its antecedent. Now, we use who and whom for people and objects. Who is used for subject pronoun for people, whom is used for object pronoun for people. There is a difference. Who, subject pronoun for people, and whom for object pronoun for people. But both who and whom are used for people and objects. Only difference is who is used for subject pronoun and whom is used for object pronoun. Whose is used to show possession. It is used for both people and objects. Now let us go over to try out 5. Observe that the below written story follows no convention while using relative pronouns. Underline those words and replace them with the correct ones. Now, children, we can see that the pronouns which are given here are not correct. So we need to replace it with the correct ones. So let us read the story first. An old hunchback who's had a goose. Whose becomes who. Who laid golden eggs, not whom. Who laid who or that laid golden eggs daily, gave it to his son, which was very greedy, which becomes who. He advised his son to ask for only an egg a day. Days passed by. The greedy boy got restless. One day he cut the belly of the goose, which had, not which had, that had brought him riches to collect all golden eggs in one row. But lo, he staked his one egg even whom he used no, which he used to get daily. Poor boy, he lost his riches forever. Now, we come over to reflexive or emphatic pronouns. Now, children, what is the meaning of reflexing? Reflex means to look back. So, now, children, when the subject and object refer to the same thing or person, then we call them as a reflexive pronoun. But why? Because the subject and the object are the same, so they are a reflection of each other. These pronouns are formed by adding the suffix self for singular or selves for plural to simple pronouns like my, your, her, him, it, them, are. So like my becomes myself, your becomes yourself, her becomes herself, him becomes himself, it becomes itself, them becomes themselves, our becomes ourselves. Now, depending on singular and plural, they become self or selves. Now, the action done by the subject reflects back on the subject itself. Reflects back means that is why it is called reflexive. That means whatever action is being done by the subject, it is reflecting back on the subject itself. Now, here the doer and the receiver are the same. They are used when the complement of the verb, please understand children, is the same as the subject. Now, the complement of the verb is usually an object that comes after a verb and completes its meaning. So, in reflexive pronoun, the complement of the verb, that is, the object, is the same as the object. Subject. Now, emphatic pronoun. They are used to emphasize the action of the subject. Example, he cut himself is reflexive. He being the subject and himself being the object. Now, here, subject and object are the same. So, it is a emphatic pronoun. He cut himself becomes reflexive. Now, he himself cut the cake becomes emphasizing. Himself is the emphasizing pronoun over here. Can you note the difference, children? He, subject, cut himself. He has performed the action of cutting the cake on himself. So he has cut himself. He, subject, himself, object. Now it is reflecting that the action of the doer is being done on the receiver who is the same person. That is why it is a reflexive pronoun. But in the second example, he himself cut the cake. Now, himself becomes the emphasizing pronoun. Why? Because he himself is doing the action. But he is doing it on whom? It is doing it on the cake. Now, here, the emphasizing pronoun himself merely puts emphasis on the pronoun he. Now, try out 6. Fill in the blanks with the suitable reflexive or empathetic pronouns. You yourself are responsible for this mess. Now, you becomes yourself. Sam, why don't you do it yourself? I am talking to Sam and I'm asking him, why don't you do it yourself? Number 3, Sneha cleans her study room herself. Why herself? Because Sneha is feminine, so she becomes herself. Number 4, I myself designed this dress. I am talking about myself, so I becomes myself. Number 5, we fell down and hurt ourselves. We because of plural, so we becomes ourselves. Number 6, those boys made that doghouse themselves. Now because those boys is plural, so it becomes themselves. She herself. Why herself? Because she is feminine, so she becomes herself. Told me not to reveal the secret. Number 8. Students, you yourselves are the makers of your future. Next are interrogative pronouns. Now, what are interrogative pronouns? Interrogative comes from the word interrogate, means to ask questions. They are used to ask questions like who, which, what, where, and how. Now, what is used for asking question about things? Which is used for asking questions about particular things or people, or when we have to choose among available possibilities, like which shirt do you like, this or that? I have two shirts, I have two possibilities, so I use the word which. Now, who, whom, whose are used to ask questions about people or persons. They may take the suffixes. Suffix means what comes after, ever or so ever. They do not distinguish between singular and plural. Now let us do try out 7. Which of these is a verb? I'm not sure. Why have we used which? We have used which because we have been given a number of possibilities of rocks. Option number of rocks are given, so we have to choose one. So we use the word which. Number 2, what is atmosphere? Because I'm asking about something, that is why I will use what. It is the layer of air that surrounds the earth. Number 3, who are eligible to vote in India? We use who because we are talking about people. So any Indian citizens aged 18 years or above are allowed to vote. Number 4, whom will you vote in this election? I haven't decided yet. So since we are talking about people, we use whom. Number 5, whose is the duty to maintain law and order in the state? I am asking you whose. Mainly, it is a duty of the government to maintain law and order. Indefinite and distributive pronoun. It is used to indicate or refer to some person or thing that isn't definite or specific, like one, none, nobody, nothing, all, few, some, many, anybody, and everybody. Now, try out 8. Circle the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. Everybody had his or her or their eyes on the blackboard because it is everybody, plural, therefore their eyes. Number 2, no one liked his or her or their finished artwork. It is no one liked his or her finished artwork. Number three, several girls crumpled up their drawings. Why there? Because several is plural. Number four, each of the students had his or their own problems trying to paint. Each of the students had his, because each is again used for singular. Therefore, we use his or her. Number five, many children brought his or her their masterpieces. Many children brought their masterpieces. This is a mistake in highlighting children. It is many children brought their masterpieces. Now try out 9. Circle the indefinite and distributive pronoun. Now there is a table which is given to you children, in which you have to first find out what are the answers for this, and then do the table, fill in the table. Now everybody needs food to survive. 2. Nobody can survive without food. Number 3. Some of the food components are complex substances. Number 4. None of the complex food components can be utilized as such. Number 5. All of the food components gradually get digested as food travels through the digestive tract. Now, children, you have to fill in the table according to the answers. Now, children, we come to the end of this chapter, pronouns. I hope you have understood clearly the concept of pronouns, the different kinds of pronouns, how to use which pronoun where. In case you like my video, children, and want to see more such videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I will definitely make more such videos for you. Thank you.